Hey, what's going on, guys? Andrew here, and today we're going to be talking about a bunch of news that came out from NIO. We had a investment group add over 8 million shares this quarter, and there's also some expansion leaks into Germany, which is huge because we've seen expansion leaks like this before. We just had one last video with America, and then a few videos ago we talked about the expansion into Europe, which later got confirmed by the CEO, William Li.
William, can you update us on your international expansion plans? What are your priority markets? And what is the time frame that we're looking at?
We
have clear plans to enter the European market this year. We will gain experience from a specific country and region to understand how to meet the needs of local users, how to introduce NIO's community culture to different countries. From this perspective, we still have work to do.
Now, there's also an analyst from a well-known bank that's given NIO a $70 price target. He believes that they're going to reach a 300,000 long-term volume target, or nearly 3 times its current capacity. Now, that analyst and many others believe that it's going to take several years for NIO to enter the US markets, but I'm going to talk about a connection that I made with Brian Deese, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, and why I think that entering under the Biden administration is going to be a likely scenario. So if you're interested in investing into NIO, or you're interested in making money in NIO stock, make sure you stick throughout the whole video because I'm going to be going through a lot of bullish news that came out within the past week. And of course, if you guys do enjoy the video and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I do post about NIO every single week. We talk about the latest news and stuff like that. So if you've missed the past few weeks, make sure you go check out my recent videos as well. And of course, if you are watching today's video on the day that I upload it, which is going to be Sunday the 14th, happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you spoil your significant other, and of course, make sure you enjoy your day. Now, as you can see from this article right here, it talks about BlackRock increases their position in NIO by over 15%, giving them a total market valuation of about $3 billion. Now, that's insane because they own 61.5 million shares, and they just increased it by 15%. Now that 61.5 comes after the increase, so they were just a little over 50 million shares worth. But as you can see from this graphic right here, in 2019, they kind of remained stagnant. They didn't really do much buying. And then in 2020, they just exponentially are continuing to buy. So that's a really good sign showing that these institutions have a lot of faith in NIO. Now, a really interesting buy came in where Healthcare of Ontario Pension Plan Trust Fund grew its position from just over 2,000 shares to 8.5 million shares of NIO stock in the past quarter. Now, it's really interesting that they grew from basically a tiny position into 8.5 million shares and $400 million worth. Credit Suisse also increased its holdings in NIO by 16.4%, and they now own 10 million shares of NIO. Northern Trust Corp also increased its position by 33%, and also UBS Asset Management Americas Incorporated increased its position by 8%. So there's been a bunch of institutional buying this past quarter, and that's definitely a really bullish sign for NIO investors. Now, the largest pension fund in the United States actually increased their NIO position by 12.4% this quarter, and that fund is the California Public Employees Retirement System. Now, as much as we love seeing our Wall Street bets and retail traders pump up all these stocks, it's definitely good for investing in the long term and investing in the stock market when the stock that you buy has a lot of institutional ownership, and that's what we are seeing here with NIO. Now, the guy on your screen is Brian Deese. He is the global head of sustainable investing at BlackRock, but he's also the director of the National Economic Council under Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden has talked about how he wants a lot of the vehicles in America to be electric, and he wants to go eventually full EV. Now, don't mind my conspiracy theories, but I think Brian Deese is expecting NIO to make its way into the American markets while under Joe Biden's presidency, and honestly, it would be a good move. And for NIO, it might be their only shot. We know there are a lot of people in the government that are anti-China. They don't want China to benefit off us, but Joe Biden might be the guy to let them in due to their electric vehicles. Now, keep in mind that is a theory that I formed. Just don't take that too seriously. Now, these LinkedIn jobs have kind of been a theme in my videos because there's been multiple ones that have come out that have been really interesting. Last week, we had the US LinkedIn job offering, and then a few weeks ago, we had a Norway one, which was kind of a hint at the European expansion. Now, this is one in Germany, and they're looking for a battery expert. But if you hover down to this line right here, as you can see, it says responsible for all battery pack operation related tasks for the target country, including production, maintenance, and engineering. So if they're going to be producing batteries in Germany, they're definitely going to be selling cars. And that's definitely going to be huge in terms of production of cars and just sales in general for NIO. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this bank's name, but they did a report on NIO a few days ago, and they also talked a little bit about the business plan US market. Now, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this bank's name, but they did a report on NIO a few days ago, and they even mentioned the United States integration rumor. Now, we also talked about earlier in the video how they think that NIO is going to reach the longer-term volume of 300,000, and those estimates aren't even including U.S. sales. So if we do see an integration into the U.S. market, that's going to dramatically increase their forecast of 2025 sales. Now, they do think that NIO is going to reach 3 times their current capacity due to the smart electric vehicle industrial park that they just partnered with the government to make. Now, I also came across this screenshot on Twitter for NIO on February 9th. They actually had the most bullish flow out of any stock on the market. So that's really interesting to see. And that's really good for the bullish case. As you can see, $18.8 million worth of premium on the 9th. Now, one of the biggest catalysts that's coming up in the next few months that we know about so far is going to be their fourth quarter earnings, which is set to announce on March 1st. Now, NIO just came out with their January delivery numbers, and they had over 7,000 deliveries, which was extremely good, and it was the 3rd consecutive month that they had higher deliveries. Now, we're going to have to see if this carries out throughout the entire quarter, and if it does, I expect a surge in NIO's stock price due to that. Now, if we do some technical analysis on NIO, as you can see, we broke out of this bull flag this week, and it was some decent volume. As you can see, this increase from the fading volume right here, and it now seems to be forming another bull flag, and this one's just a little bit smaller, but as long as we hold this 55 area, I'm really going to like it. As you can see, there's a lot of support here with all these long wick rejections, but 64.5 is definitely a big resistance, so I do want to see some volume if we do try to break out from that level. Now, if you take a look at the daily chart, I can also see a cup and handle forming, and we should be getting some volume here at this 65-ish level if we do want to see a cup and handle breakout. Now, I do understand that NIO has had a lot of growth in terms of their stock price in the past year, and that does not make it a great risk reward. But personally, with all the catalysts coming up, I think this stock is just getting started, and there's so much growth potential in the electric vehicle market for them and in the European and American markets. And with institutions like BlackRock and pension funds supporting this, I'm going to have to join on the train as well, and I think I'm going to be adding more shares this week. Now, just because I'm invested into NIO and I'm a long-term investor into this company doesn't mean you should be as well. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice, so make sure you guys do your own research before buying into NIO stock or any of the companies I talk about. I'm just a YouTuber who wants to get out good stock news towards you guys. Now, if you do want to learn more about NIO, I have about a video a week talking about all the news updates, and I even did a video of NIO Day and my overview of that. But other than that, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on NIO and on the recent news. Do you think they're going to expand into Germany, and do you think they're going to expand into the United States? What do you think about this increase in institutional investors like BlackRock and the US pension funds? And do you think that is going to have a major effect on the stock price? And I'm curious to know, are you guys invested into NIO, and do you have any long-term price targets for it? Because I'd love to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts on that. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.